Once upon a time, this the memory. It's like synergy. Life the hardest teacher y'all could ever get the master. Get a test first, then y'all get that lesson after. Steve's never stressing them G's to freeze egos. Please, I just get them in threes, like the Migos.
What's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome y'all back to the Diagnosed Success Podcast. I'm your host, K Sparks. It's a blessing to be a blessing. We are blessed and highly favored. Appreciate y'all tuning in each and every single week. And as always, before we get started, we're going to get started with that word of the day. Something motivational, inspirational, get you through your day, your week, your life. I don't like this word today. It says, go with the flow. You can't control the whole sea. The only thing you can control is your ship. I like that. It says, go with the flow. You can't control the whole sea. The only thing you can control is your ship. That's real talk. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, you got to learn how to adapt and overcome. That's a military term, adapt and overcome. A lot of things are going to come your way. A lot of times it may be negativity. And you got to know how to adjust. You got to know how to pivot in order to keep moving. You know, as long as you keep moving, keep motion, you good. And that is the word of the day. All right. Before today, we're going to get right into it. This is a topic that y'all requested. Y'all wanted to see my thoughts on it. And it's about a Latina who made some pretty bold statements regarding the migrant crisis and why she feels that Black people should not participate or protest within this crisis and what's going on. Let's go to the clip.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it, but I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not going to talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
So as you can see, she was very straightforward. She didn't bite her tongue. She didn't hold back. She gave it 110% about what she feels about this. You know, and there's been a lot of back and forth about this. There's a lot of people doing their hot takes, their clips on social media. What's my vantage point? I think she made some valid points. I think being a Black person in this society can be very exhausting, right? So waking up every day, dealing with the things that Black people deal with. And if you're not Black, then you really wouldn't get it. Or if you're not a minority that's affected by these things, because it's not your reality. For a typical white person, his day is different from my day. That's just a fact. His upbringing was different from my upbringing. That's just a fact. Depending on where you were raised, right? And the reality is that the things that you go through can be exhausting, right? You got to deal with systemic racism. You got to deal with whether that be socially, whether that be at your job. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with some colonizer who's racist, but they're not going to call you the N-word to your face, but they'll show it through their actions, right? These are people that are malicious. They talking shit about you all the time behind your back. You see them, everything's copacetic. They fronting, but they talking trash about you. We know a lot of those types, right? You're dealing with the society aspect where you're trying to get jobs. You got that glass ceiling where you only get but so high. But then let's circle back to how Black people feel about this, right? I think it's like fighting a fight every day, right? And you fighting, and you in the fight, just you and your family, right? Because it's y'all problem. It's your family's problem. And for lack of better words, let's call that problem racism, right? Racism. Every day you got to deal with it. And Black people deal with what's known as microaggressions. So if you don't know what a microaggression is, I'll explain it to you. Those are those little things that happen every single day that constantly build up, right? You being Black, you walking down the street, white woman clutches her purse because she automatically assumes you're going to hit over the head. And chances are you probably got more money in the bank than her. That's a microaggression, right? Because it fucks with you. It bothers you, right? Go into a store. White people in the store, black people in the store. They start following the black person around. When I was younger, this used to happen to me. I used to love comic books. Go to comic book store, white store owner following me around. Meanwhile, little white boy stealing everything in sight. But he ain't paying attention to them. He paying attention to me. Microaggression. You see what I'm saying? These are the things we got to deal with. Black people feel some type of way. They feel exhausted. They feel tired. They tired of being tired. And to be honest with you, we don't have it in us to fight somebody else's fight when we're still fighting for our own justice. We have yet to get 40 acres and a mule, right? We have yet to get certain things and certain liberties, even after our ancestors and our forefathers slaved for this country, died for this country. And when you want a little bit, they say, oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What boots? When you don't have no boots, you ain't got no shoes. And if you got shoes, you ain't got no laces, metaphorically speaking, right? When black people tried to build wealth in this country, Black Wall Street, what they do, they came and them racist motherfuckers burned that down to the ground. You can't have shit, right? So even when you do try to make it, and then they say, oh, well, you guys are good. Look at Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Bruh, do you know statistically what it takes to become a successful athlete or a successful musician? Statistically, the math ain't mathing, right? So historically, even when we look at something like his housing, right? A lot of people don't know that back in the days, it was built into these contracts where a white person couldn't sell that property to a black person. So even if you wanted to build wealth from a generational standpoint, you could not do it. Even if you had the bread. You see what I'm saying? So it was all these things set in place to keep black people down, black people back, black people oppressed, and still to this day. So now racism is not really overt, it's more covert. I'm gonna be passive aggressive towards you. I'll talk shit about you behind your back, but I'll smile in your face. I'm gonna do you dirty. This is what they do, right? So black people are fucking tired. We don't have it in us to fight anybody else's fight because we still trying to fight our own fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Nothing against what they got going on with the migrant crisis. We just ain't got it, B. You understand what I'm saying to you? And half the time, you know, let's be candid, not all people feel this way, but a lot of times when black men, black women try to venture off and date outside the race, I've heard other people say things like, oh, well, you know, they shouldn't really date black. They got to keep the bloodline pure, got to keep it white, got to keep it light. So when there's verbiage like this going on around about black people, do you think they really think like they want to fight that fight when this is how they're treated by other races? Like, you really got to see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you see the total picture of what black people have been through in this country consistently, yo, you start to see why it's just exhausting, right? And why black people feel a certain way. Let's go to a clip.
Right? He threw the rock. He tried to hit my sister, but he almost hit me about that much away from me. And I was sure wish he had hit me with that rock. I would pick up the rock right next to me and hit him right dead in his face.
They always say niggas are doing everything. They always say we're doing everything, right? We don't read it every time the white people come down, but we don't push them out their neighborhood and throw rocks and start hitting them.
We don't bother the white people around our neighborhood, but when we get in a white neighborhood, they just push us out.
Yeah, everybody with us, we're nothing, you know, we're a piece of dirt, dogs. I mean, that's the way you treat an animal. I mean, God, we're human beings. You don't treat other people like that. It's just wrong. Black, white, I don't care. A person is a person. Skin should have no bearing on how you treat a person. That's just wrong.
I hate their goddamn guts.
You don't hate them. I can't say that I hate them. I can't say that it's totally the kids' fault. I mean, I'm sure their parents had some bearing on the way they feel and everything else. I think it's just the system. I don't know. I can't say that I hate them because I don't hate anybody.
Do you forgive them?
No. Can't take back no hurt. But they gonna always do that. They always spit on us like we some dogs. They always gonna
spit back
that.
on them.
Ain't nothing gonna change.
So that clip was actually not that many years ago from a black family that moved into a white area and how they were treated in this country. Those are the types of things that still linger, right? It might not be as overt. Like I said, it's more covert. And once again, historically or present day, that's why black people feel some type of way, man. You know, if you can't relate, you can't relate. But I think, listen, at the end of the day, more power to the people that fight that fight, and more power to Black people that fight their fight on a daily basis. And no one's obligated to fight anybody's fight but their own. And nobody should be mad about that, nor have the expectation that other people should do that, especially when you ain't going hard for other people at the end of the day, right? That's just what it is. I remember back in the days too, there used to be something called the Green Book. If you don't know what the Green Book is, do your Googles, do your due diligence. Things were so racist that in order for Black people to survive as they navigated the United States, you needed to have the Green Book. And the Green Book specifically specified where you can go as a Black man and a Black woman and not get killed. And you better not have deviated from that book. It specified barbershops, auto shops, hotels, places specifically for Black people. Imagine living in a world like that. And realistically, we still are. It's just in a different way, right? Like I said, you pay attention, there's still oppressive things going on. So there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work for equality, and ain't no justice until everybody's got some liberties. You feel me? So that's my take on it. I want to know what y'all thought. You could comment below, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear your thoughts. Run it back. Until next time. Peace.